This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 17th day of June in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. As rehabilitation work continues along the east bank of the Marara Public Road between Diamond and Good Success, the Ministry of Public Works has taken a decision to divert vehicular traffic, with the exception of trucks and public transportation, to the various bypass roads along the corridor to ease congestion. Public Works Minister Juan Edgel made the announcement today as he visited road construction works in the presence of the Traffic Chief, Senior Superintendent Mahendra Singh, and the head of the Public Works Ministry's Special Projects Unit, Colin Gittins. The new traffic arrangement takes immediate effect. Minister Edgel said the statistics show that approximately 30,000 vehicles, of which about 30% are trucks, use the road on a daily basis, and it is therefore important to reduce the traffic flow as the road remains under construction.
And we do more than 30,000 vehicles per day on the East Bank. Between 20 and 30%, depending on the day of the week, are trucks. Between 20 to 30% of that number, depending on the day of the week, are trucks. What we are proposing to do is only trucks, because with the work that is going on, as you can see, lanes would be interrupted. So sometimes you would not be able to get a full 2 lanes of traffic flowing north to south and south to north. But what we will have to do is to let out maybe 20, 30 trucks at a time, 20, 30 trucks at the other time, and we keep the trucks moving. So we're asking for all other cars, SUVs, motorcycles, and everybody else to keep off of this particular section so that we could have the heavy machines working, traffic flowing, and there's...
Initially, Minister Edgel suggested that only trucks be allowed to use a section of the road under construction. However, he was advised on the spot by the traffic chief to also accommodate public minibuses and people residing along the roadway. Heeding the advice of the traffic chief, Minister Edgel assured that using the alternative routes would help to ease congestion and prevent further disruption to traffic. The diversions start at Little Diamond on the East Bank.
You would recall that long before we started this project, we ensured that we created the adequate bypasses. We did the road just at Diamond. Once you pass the gas station, you could head east, and then you could get into Diamond and cross over Jimbo Bridge and come back out to the East Bank Highway. We have ensured we have made all the necessary connections for people to go down through Heroes Highway, connect through Diamond, and come through the bypasses so that you don't have to be on this carriageway.
And though reluctant to disclose the deadline for the road project, the minister assured that the project, which has been ongoing for some time, will not go on forever.
As of today, we want to start diverting the traffic. This carriageway must be finished. This is not going to be forever. We want to get this wrapped up as fast as is possible.
And the traffic chief said the number of vehicles traversing the area has increased significantly in recent years, and it is therefore important to control the flow of traffic by providing alternative routes.
One of the things I would suggest, and not deviating from the orders of the Minister of Government at the time, is that public transportation should continue along this line, that is to say, the Route 42 minibuses, so that we don't take away from where persons have to travel or inconvenience them to reroute back to their residences or places that they go to do business.
He said the rehabilitation of the roadway forms part of development, and the traffic department stands ready to lend its support, but underscored the need for the appropriate signage to be placed to guide the road users on the diversions. He noted that along the East Bank corridor there are approximately 18 other construction sites, and despite its limited capacity in terms of the number of ranks, the traffic department continues to offer its support. The project, which covers the rehabilitation of approximately 1.6 kilometers of roadway, is being conducted by 5 contractors at a cost of $1.3 billion. It is approximately 45% complete, When completed, the two-lane road will be expanded to accommodate heavier traffic, walkways, and parking. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look. You know the one. Or one touch. Even one word. It can start with one step. Or one promise. One thrill. One first time. One deep breath. One leap of faith. One day to remember. Or one night to forget. One moment. So many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life. Just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Chasing a ride that takes you higher? Elevate your drive with the all-new Honda Elevate. Now at Merrick's, the Honda Elevate has a bold style, cutting-edge technology, sleek and modern interior, and intuitive controls that makes every journey feel elevated and comfortable. So, why wait? Drive a Honda Elevate today. It's brand new, 0 miles, 0 worries. Visit Merrick's, the home of Honda in Guyana, or call 226-1482 to learn more.
Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in men, but early detection can save lives. So, who needs to be screened? If you're 50 or older, it's time to talk to your doctor about screening. But some men need to start even earlier. Your risk is higher if you have a family history of prostate cancer. Screening may be recommended as early as 40 years. Screening is quick and can include a PSA blood test or a simple exam. It's the first step in catching prostate cancer early, when it's most treatable. Don't wait. If you're at risk, get screened, because taking care of your health means being there for the moments that matter most. Screen early, live fully.
You've asked for it, and it's here. Ronald Hollingsworth, till I find a place in Guyana too. The Spanish baby.
That's it! You come and shut this baby up, yeah? This is scraping baby you got in, y'all.
See, ever since this baby born, you ain't take over, feeder, or nothing. What kind of father is you?
It's Godfather. This is what kind of father I be.
June 28 and 29, 8 p.m. at the National Cultural Center.
The baby can never be me own. You got to take the baby and turn to the father.
Tickets $3,000 and $2,500. Directed by Sharon Cadogan Taylor and Ronald Hollingsworth. Till I find a place in Guyana too. The Spanish baby.
Sponsored by Sylvie's Industrial Solutions, Camley's Academy, and the Ministry of Natural Resources.
Welcome back. President Irfan Ali has defended his government's continued investments in the sugar industry as not just support for the industry, but also support for the thousands of families connected to the industry. Delivering the keynote address at the 177th commemoration of the Enmore martyrs in Enmore, President Ali vowed that his government will continue to make investments in sugar. He admitted that it is a costly exercise, but one that he believes is worth the investments.
And make no mistake, we will make sugar great again. GECOM has begun to fight its way back. As of recent, factory downtime is down by 22%. Cane yields have risen by 11%. Investments are being made in predictive maintenance, automation, and drone-assisted field monitoring. Mechanization is being rolled out, not to replace people, but to support operations in the face of labor shortages.
The president also said although times have changed and the world is moving, the role of the sugar industry to sustain lives, livelihoods, and communities remain vital in Guyana today.
Therefore, let no one dare tell you that sugar is a relic, that it is dead, that it is a burden, because they would not only be wrong, they would be dangerously mistaken. Sugar is still vital, especially to the rural economy. It directly and indirectly supports about 1/5 of our population.
The president said not only does the sugar industry provide jobs, but it ensures the circulation of money in rural communities, sustains families, and provide other social benefits. The president of the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union, C. Paul Narine, said hope is rising in the sugar industry.
But today, there is hope once more in the sugar belt. Since 2020, the People's Progressive Party government, under the astute leadership of President Dr. Irfan Ali, has worked with resolve to revive and revitalize the sugar industry, to bring relief to affected communities, and to restore dignity to the working class.
Mr. Narine, whose union has been complaining about GECOM's failure to meet its quarterly production targets, also hailed the government's intervention in the industry, stating that for the first time in its history, GECOM and GAWU were able to ink a 3-year agreement for wages and other improvements for sugar workers.
Comrades, in the sugar industry, we have seen real investments, the reopening of estates, training and reskilling initiatives, and a renewed sense of purpose. We have seen jobs being created, lives being rebuilt, and faith being restored.
Sugar production continues to be under decline, with the lowest production rate recorded over the past year. High Court Judge Simone Morris Ramlal this morning granted bail in the sum of $45,000 to social media singer Daniel Wharton, also known as Baby Skello. Last Friday, Magistrate Judy Latchman remanded Wharton to jail after he was charged for the crime of blasphemous libel over a song that he sang on TikTok, which is alleged to have made a reference to the Hindu goddess Mother Lakshmi. The denial of bail by the magistrate received widespread condemnation as Wharton spent the weekend behind bars. This morning, attorneys Dexter Todd and Everton Lamy Singh approached the High Court and made arguments in support of bail being granted. The presiding judge granted bail, allowing Wharton to return home today. Wharton had repeatedly apologized over the song that he sang on his TikTok page, and he also removed that song from his page. He was summoned by the Ethnic Relations Commission, but never made an appearance before the commission. In the initial stages of the investigation, the police issued a wanted bulletin for Wharton and kept him in custody for 3 days after he surrendered to the investigators. The charge of blasphemous libel is filed against persons who might have committed the crime of insulting, offending, or vilifying a religious god. Under the laws of Guyana, someone found guilty of that crime could be sentenced to 1 year in jail. As the Guyana Elections Commission gears up for the September 1 general and regional elections, Election Day staff as well as management staff are undergoing rigorous training, according to the Commission's Public Relations Officer Yolanda Ward. Cognizant of the challenges that confronted the Commission during the last elections, which spanned a period of 5 months and were smeared by allegations of electoral fraud, GECOM is placing heavy focus on the electoral laws and the management structure during the course of the training. In an interview with News Source, the public relations officer said the training commenced back in April, starting with the training of trainers and later the training of management staff, including returning officers for the electoral districts, the deputy returning officers, and the supernumerary officers for the sub-electoral divisions in regions 3, 4, and 6.
So that training for those management staff has been completed, and discussions are ongoing at the level of the Commission in terms of the appointment of those persons to those respective positions.
She said across the country, polling day staff members are also being trained. Training is expected to continue into the month of July.
This is a rigorous 2-day training exercise where there is particular emphasis on the laws. As you know, the conduct of elections are guided in general by laws, and therefore that training strictly is focused in terms of the legal and procedural requirements for the conduct of the polls. And so, of course, there is a heavy emphasis on the penalties that are associated with election offenses, and also a particular focus in terms of the various procedures that polling day workers are required to adhere to during the conduct of the polls.
3 years ago, the National Assembly amended the Representation of the People's Act to strengthen the electoral system following the alleged attempts to rig the elections back in 2020. The Act now requires statements of poll to be distributed to the Chief Election Officer and the Chairman of the Elections Commission, in addition to an electronic copy being posted on the Commission's website to be viewed by the public. It also provides for hefty fines and jail time for anyone, including election staff and officials, who are found guilty of committing election-related offenses. Ward said the roles and functions of polling day staff and those who would constitute management have been clearly outlined. In the event of a breakdown, as was in the case in 2020, Ward said there is a clear structure in place.
Indeed, there is a management structure in which these persons are guided to. In terms of, in fact, the training actually opens as we move on from the legal framework, because it's important for them to understand that legal framework, and then we go into the management structure as to who exactly are their reporting lines. So there is a clear reporting line.
The number of polling day staff will be known following the extraction of the official list of electors. Ward explained that the number of voters will determine the number of staff required.
Guyana, it's time to uncap your weekend. Uncapped Marketplace is back Saturday, June 21st and Sunday, June 22nd at the National Stadium. Come shop the best in local sauces, spices, skincare, snacks, craft, and so much more. Meet your favorite agro-processors, discover new products, and walk away with unbeatable deals. Don't miss the excitement, the giveaways, and the reason we say proudly made in Guyana. That's Uncapped Marketplace, June 21st and 22nd. Support local, shop smart, and experience Uncapped.
A nation united for one powerful night of praise and worship. It's the One Guyana Worship Experience. Monday, July 7th, CARICOM Day at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence, starting from 6 p.m. Join us for an unforgettable evening featuring international award-winning gospel ministers Chandler Moore, Todd Dulaney, Samuel Midas, Renwick Dewsbury. Out of Jamaica, the viral sensation, Prince Saj. Also ministering, Faith Kurika, Cheryl Maloney, Timothy Roberts, Apostle Sean Sobers, Miriam Williams, Joshua Joe, and many more. The One Guyana Worship Experience, Monday, July 7th at the National Stadium. Admission is absolutely free, but you must secure your passes through your local churches, online, and designated outlets across the country. One nation, one people, one worship. The One Guyana Worship Experience. Don't miss it.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing June 16, 2025 to produce an official list of electors for the conduct of general and regional elections. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors in all registration divisions for you to check if you are listed and if your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed on the same divisional list as the person you are objecting to. You must visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Friday, June 20, 2025. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-0277-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
New York City, summer is about to get hot. Saturday, August 2nd, SR Hamilton LLC presents Gospel Infusion. Featuring Samuel Medas, Psycho, Eddie Neblett, Sean Daniels out of Trinidad, Christelle Brandt, Sherilyn Maloney, DJ Kesta D,
Timothy Roberts,
and many more at the South Jamaica Multi-Service Center, 11402 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, Queens, New York. Gates open at 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Get your super early bird tickets for only $50. General admission $70. Pay more at the gate, and limited VIP $100 all inclusive. Come and experience the outpouring of God's grace Saturday, August 2nd. For more information, visit Gospel Infusion on Facebook and Instagram.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say wash your soap powder, wash clothes so nice. Wash your soap powder, leave your clothes color bright. Wash your soap powder, leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks for wash your soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright, have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Wash your soap powder, wash clothes so nice. Wash your soap powder, leave your clothes color bright. Wash your soap powder, have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing June 16, 2025 to produce an official list of electors for the conduct of general and regional elections. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you have changed your address since you were registered, you need to visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your new area of residence to apply for a transfer. If you do not apply for a transfer, you will have to go to the polling station where you will be listed to vote based on your previous residence. Wednesday, June 18, 2025 is the last day you can apply for a transfer during this exercise. For more information, contact GECOM on 225-0277-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
The Education Ministry has announced the government's push to expand technical and vocational education training opportunities throughout the country. saying the move is geared at upskilling young adults and children who prefer to pursue TVET education. Speaking in the Education Ministry's TVET Fair and Exposition this morning, Education Minister Priya Manik Chand highlighted that the recently launched National Technical and Vocational Education Training Policy is a strategic initiative aimed at equipping the nation's workforce with the skills and competencies needed to drive economic transformation. She also explained that the government has taken a ground-up approach by introducing TVET education in schools across the country. Ms. Manik Chan said so far 9 out of the 10 regions have state-of-the-art TVET facilities.
Today, because of conscious investments, because of strategic partnerships, we have TVET, state-of-the-art TVET facilities in 9 of the 10 regions in Guyana today. I just recently commissioned the Mabaruma TVET PIC, the Hopetown TVET PIC, the Better for Wakting TVET PIC, the Fellowship in Region 3 TVET PIC. PIC means Practical Instruction Center. Sometime next week, I will travel to St. Ignatius and commission the St. Ignatius Practical Instruction Center. And sometime within the next 3 weeks, we will commission the Bartica Practical Instruction Center.
The Education Minister said it is important for the country to move in the direction of boosting its workforce by providing relevant skills training opportunities that will support the country's growing trajectory. She also said that given the current shortage of skilled labor, Guyana may need to import expertise before it can fully develop a local workforce that is capable of supporting the country's rapid growth.
We want our children to be competent in what they are going to pursue. We want them to competitively engage in the various new arising sectors that are coming out of the oil and gas industry. We want them to earn. We want them to lead. We want you to be able to take up your rightful place. And that is why the emphasis is on TVET from first form.
The government is hoping to spend about $18.5 billion to modernize and enhance TVET in the coming years. A plan has also been put in place to have a single national institution that will have full oversight for planning, coordination, and regulation of the sector. Education Minister Priya Manik Chand is firing back at social media commentator Mikhail Rodriguez, also known as the Guyanese critic, over his profanity-laced tirade against her for her position that social media singer Baby Skello should not have been remanded to jail for a blasphemous libel charge. The Guyanese critic on his social media talk show on Monday morning lashed out at the Education Minister, hurling a number of expletives and names in her direction. However, he was criticized by many of his viewers and across social media. Today, the Education Minister said the Guyanese critic is a bully and people must stand up to him and those like him.
All of that makes that a crime against the state under the cybercrime legislation. So, if I were to pick myself up from here, waste some time and walk over to the cybercrime unit and make a complaint, he most likely would be charged.
Ms. Manik Chan said Guyanese must be wary of personalities like the Guyanese critic and must not tolerate them. She said his attacks on her were ignorant, vulgar, and abusive.
So the Guyanese critic trying to twist what I said is his style. It's what he does. He's not a journalist, he's not credible. I wouldn't bother too much with him, but I will say this. He's a bully, and there are very many bullies like that in households across this country. And to the girls and women who have to put up with people like that, I say defend yourself and deal with them.
The education minister said she does not have the luxury of approaching every issue from an emotion standpoint, but notes that persons like the Guyanese critic must be isolated. She said if she decides to take the matter up legally, Rodriguez could be granted bail, which would reinforce her point that the law is not applied across the board equally. She said if he is remanded, her comments would be the same as in the case of baby Skello, that the action would be excessive. Promising Guyanese 10 days of fine dining and a culinary adventure like never before, the 18th season of Guyana Restaurant Week was officially launched last evening at the Swingers Lounge at Movietown. The highly anticipated culinary event is set to take place from the 20th to the 29th of June, and it promises diners an exquisite dining experience at affordable prices, according to the Deputy Director of the Guyana Tourism Authority, Amanda Mangra.
For us, this is not just a food event, it's a tourism event. It's about strengthening our destination appeal, supporting the growth of the hospitality sector, and encouraging more people to explore Guyana through new and meaningful experiences.
This season features 21 participating restaurants offering specially curated prix-fixe menus with prices ranging from $3,000 to $8,000. The season also includes restaurants from regions 3 and 7. Ms. Mangra said the expansion highlights the Guyana Restaurant Week's goal to make culinary experiences accessible across all corners of the country.
All of the participants each year, it's always a joy to see the new faces and the new persons who have said, I want to join GRW. And to that, we thank all of you for jumping on board and saying, I want to do this.
Supporters such as the Guyana Tourism Authority and Republic Bank under its Swipe, Dine and Savor initiative are joined by sponsors Anson McCall Trading and Guyana Beverages Incorporated. Diners have an opportunity to also win a grand prize of dinner for two at THAG's 2025 Restaurant of the Year through a social media competition.
When the night has come and the land is dark.
Somebody in a happy mood.
Yes, Pujilu, because Ban's birthday coming up and I gonna be present.
Last year your friend them been.
And you like that?
If me and you ain't go together this year, things gonna be dark, really dark.
Let's celebrate the band's birthday on Saturday, 28th of June at the National Park with 9 one-man bands and Granny Ivy.
Big birthday!
Early bird tickets for $2,000. Stage front, $5,000. Tickets located at Just Your Size Boutique, Stovetop, White Castle Fish Shop, Fireside Suites, and Team Extra Stabrook Market. Band's birthday 2025, June 28th at the National Park. Gates open from 6 p.m. and free gate upon entry.
Ooh, la, la, la. Let's go dancing.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing June 16, 2025 to produce an official list of electors for the conduct of general and regional elections. GECOM will post the preliminary list of electors in all registration divisions for you to check if you are listed and if your particulars are accurate. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2025 and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. If you are eligible for inclusion, you are required to apply for registration if your name is not on the PLE. Apply for a transfer if you have changed your address since you were registered. Apply for a name change if you have changed your name. Apply for a correction if your particulars are incorrect. Any person applying for a change or correction must provide the relevant original source document, birth certificate and deed poll for a name change by deed poll, marriage certificate and ID card for a name change by marriage, divorce absolute in the case of a woman who is desirous of reverting to her maiden name from her married name, birth certificate, adoption certificate, naturalization certificate for correction of minor clerical errors. Visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of these transactions. The claims aspect of this exercise will end on Wednesday, June 18, 2025. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Buster presenting the new 500 milliliter. Wow, Buster flavorful. Make every meal better. Grab a Buster for drink, Buster move. Taste this. 500 ml, that's it. Buster for days, that's cool. Buster 500 milliliter is a brand new choice of my drink with my food. Vibing every munch, that's smooth. Introducing the new Buster 500 milliliter. Grab a bottle with your lunch today.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Oil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Oil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Oil has now repositioned itself as market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing June 16, 2025 to produce an official list of electors for the conduct of general and regional elections. If you will be 18 years or older by June 30, 2025 and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can make a claim for registration, change, correction to your particulars, or you can object to the inclusion of anyone who you believe should not be on the list. If you are desirous of making a claim or objection, you must visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to do so. Visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of these transactions. All GECOM registration offices will be open from Monday, June 16 to Friday, June 20, 2025, from 8 hours to 20 hours. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-0277-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. People's National Party (PNP) President Mark Golding has strongly rejected Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness's recent claim that the government does not need an opposition to remain accountable, asserting instead that supporters of the ruling Jamaica Labour Party (JLP) are sufficient for oversight. According to Jamaica Gleaner, in a blunt response, Golding dismissed Holness's assertion as a nonsense argument, which he said reflects the Prime Minister's ongoing misunderstanding of Jamaica's democratic governance system. He told the Gleaner, and I quote, "It's just another example of its failure to understand the democratic system of governance in the country and the role of the parliamentary opposition in holding the government accountable." End of quote. The opposition leader's position is a constitutional appointment. Section 80 of the Jamaica Constitution states that the leader of the opposition is appointed by the Governor General by instrument under the board seal. It also details roles and functions of the opposition, including acting as a check on the government's power, contributing to bipartisan governance through key appointments and legislative amendments, and presenting alternative perspectives in Parliament. The Bahamas is preparing to cancel contracts with Cuban healthcare professionals after discussions with the U.S. government, Bahamian Health Minister Michael Darville said in a parliamentary address Monday. Darville said his ministry would enter into direct employment contracts with Cuban healthcare professionals in the Bahamas. Those who are not interested in this new arrangement will be given the time to wrap up their affairs and return to Cuba, Darville said. Darville added that the recruitment efforts for Cuban teachers and health workers were also on hold, pending the outcome of discussions with the United States. Cuba's health service generates major export earnings by sending doctors and health workers around the world. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has accused officials involved in Cuba's labor export program of being involved in human trafficking and labor exploitations, accusations denied by Cuba and many Caribbean leaders who say the Cuban medical programs are essential and comply with international labor laws. Currently, there are only 35 Cuban health workers in the Bahamas, most of them engineers, lab technicians, and X-ray technicians, Darville said. The Bahamas faces a shortage of local healthcare professionals, the minister said. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. President Donald Trump said he wanted a real end to the nuclear dispute with Iran and indicated he may send senior American officials to meet with the Islamic Republic as the Israel-Iran air war raged for a fifth day. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said meanwhile that Iran's supreme leader could face the same fate as Iraqi President Saddam Hussein, who was toppled in a US-led invasion and eventually hanged after a trial. Speaking to reporters after his departure from Canada, where he attended the Group of Seven Nations Summit on Monday, Trump predicted that Israel would not be easing its attacks on Iran. Trump said he might send U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff or Vice President J.D. Vance to meet with Iran. Washington has said Trump is aiming for a nuclear deal with Iran, even as the military confrontation unfolds. Trump, who left the summit early due to the Middle East situation, said his departure had nothing to do with working on a deal between Israel and Iran after the French president said the U.S. had initiated a ceasefire proposal. Something much bigger than that was expected, he said on his Truth Social platform late on Monday. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.